In this chapter, I am going to explain you the problem solving techniques, analysis, designing and representation. There are four sections of this chapter. The first is the problem solving, second algorithm, then flowchart, and the last one is the pseudocode. Now the question is, what is problem solving? In the layman language, the way and the technique to solve the problem is called problem solving technique. It involves some ad hoc methods or some generic method to solve the problem. So what is ad hoc method? Ad hoc method sometimes require you draw some tabular data and put some value here and there and get the idea. What does it mean? Why? What does it mean while storing a data in this format? Or you can write some statement like this: need a car that drive itself. Okay, so these are the ad hoc methods to solve the problem. That is called the problem involved in the form of requirements, in the form of you issues you encounter while while working on some of your projects and some of the tasks. So there are some steps involved to solve the complex problem. In software industry, there are straightforward defined processes and practices by which we solve the complex problem. The very crucial steps to solve the problem is define the problem. So if you able to define the problem, then it is said that you almost solve your problem. So mostly time takes to understand the problem and formalizes explaining and understand and document the problem, then it takes the time. In the most of the cases, we say that we solve the problem, but actually we did a different way that was not originally requested or that was not original problem. So it is said that first of all we should be define the problem, and then we will able to start solution according to the problem. Okay, so it is important to first step to solve the problem is to define the problem. Defining the problem will require following characteristics like differentiate fact from opinion. It means that you should be understand what is fact. Okay, then understand or specifying the causes why this need, and then consult each fraction of information involved in this causes. Then state and define the problem, identify the standard and expectation, determine the process lies in the problem, and avoid trying to solve the problem without data. That is, while you define the solving the problem, you must play around the data. That is, if the data is like say, if you create a program that solve the number of two number, then you like your input 1 should be and input 2 should vary on some set of data, right? And then you're able to complete the result sum of two number, and that your value will be corresponding, right? So it is said that you should be while solving the problem, and if you have like a solution that you must have validate against the data. If you can here see that there are the well-defined processes involved in defining the or solving the problem. That is called the first step is the define the problem. As you can see here, it is very crucial to understand what exactly problem says. Okay, like if I ask you, or if you are a software developer and ask you to create a home security system by which I can secure my home, that means they that means there is a requirement to be placed or to be created, that a home security system in which the home should be secured by thief, fire, fire, and other mishap like disaster recovery system, alarming system should be placed in the bank. So this all should become define the problem. Once you define the problem, that what exactly it does mean by home security system, then you should start exploring your ideas. And here the ideas come in the second place, that is called brainstorming. Brainstorming that will be help you to formalize the way to solve the problem. That is the second step towards solving the problem. Then you need to pick the best brainstorming idea that solve your all the questions, the problem defined in this section. Okay, now it's time to implement the problem. That is the four steps. That is the define. That is the implementation. The idea, the way to pick the thing, you have to need to define, implement the problem. That means if you pick the idea of home security system, then it's time to implement it. Once implemented, it should be reviewed that whether that system, that is home security system, is working properly or not. If it is not working, then you need to figure out what is the issues and then replicate the issues, and then after replicating the issues again follow the same step, and at the end, whilst it takes sometimes several iterations, this happens in the case of software, that once we release the build, the first build, that is first version, it takes several iterations that make the build or make the software more stable. Okay, so these are the basically steps involved to solve the problem. In computer science, there are various techniques and process involved to solve the problem. So first is called analysis and designing. This is also called system analysis and designing. That is called SAD. Okay. Second is algorithm. Third is flowchart third is the flowchart, and the fourth is pseudo-code. So these all we will talk about in the next upcoming sections. Okay. So let's talk about what is